In today's video, I'm going to share 5 of my headshot photography tips. These are tips that I've learned over the years and adopted into my daily practice with headshot clients. Hi, I'm Nicole Romanoff, and I'm a fashion and portrait photographer. Before we get started, I want to share the equipment that I used for today's video. I shot these headshots using a Canon R5, and I used an 85mm lens. I was tethering to my MacBook Pro to capture one. For my lighting, I used a Profoto D2 500 with a Broncolor 5-foot octobox. You'll also notice that I have a white V-flat behind me, and that's just reflecting light back onto my subject. I have the light at about a 45-degree angle to my subject and angled down at about a 45-degree angle as well. So let's get into it. Tip number 1, use a large modifier. I like to use either my Broncolor 5-foot octobox or a white shoot-through umbrella with diffusion. And as the rule goes, the larger the light source relative to the subject, the softer the light. I really do like soft light. I feel like it's a great choice for headshots because it's just flattering for everybody. And most of the clients that I have that walk through my door are looking for a well-lit, professional-looking image. Tip number 2, use a lens that is over 70mm. I always use about an 85mm or a 100mm or a 70 to 200 telephoto lens. If you go below that, if you're using a 50mm lens, there's going to be a lot of distortion in the image, and things such as the nose are going to look a little bit bigger than if you were using a higher focal length. Tip number 3, you're going to want to shoot at a higher aperture. You're going to want a clean, crisp, sharp image. You're not going to want something that is too artistic where there's a lot of fall off. You're going to want to shoot at a higher aperture. I would suggest, if you're working with studio lights, start at about f5.6 and upwards. For this shoot, I chose to shoot at f8. That's just a comfort zone for me. That tends to be where I like to start because I like a very sharp, in-focus image, especially for a professional headshot. You're not going to want the nose in focus or the eye in focus and then the nose out of focus, or say the ear out of focus. You're going to want everything nice and sharp. Tip number 4 has to do with posing. I love posing and directing my subjects, and when it comes to headshots, there's a few things in particular that you need to prompt your clients for and direct them. When I have a client in front of my lens and they're a little bit nervous, they have the tendency to pull their head back, and this gives you no jawline whatsoever. So the first thing I do is I ask my clients just to relax, take a few deep breaths just to calm their nervous system. And then I ask them to turn their body on a 45-degree angle, depending on if they have a good side or a side that they prefer. I ask them to put their weight on their front leg, leaning towards the camera. I ask them to bring their face towards the camera and drop their chin, which brings your forehead forward, and the attention to the eyes, which a headshot is really all about the eyes and all about the connection. Another thing to keep in mind is ask your client to keep their shoulders back. In today's world, we're at our computers, we're hunching over all the time, we're on our phones. Make sure that they're standing tall, shoulders back, and then leaning towards the camera. And this will just give a very engaging headshot. Tip number 5, review your images with your client on set. I find this makes a huge difference. If they're nervous, it gets their confidence up because they see how good they look. It inspires talk about what could be better. Say they don't like how they look, what can we do to fix that? I find that getting that feedback with the client right in front of you to make a big difference, and you're able to communicate with them exactly what their needs are so that you can meet and achieve those needs. And again, it's important to boost their confidence, and by showing them the images, you can really work together to achieve an amazing end product. So those are my 5 headshot tips. I hope that you take it into your own studio and apply it into your headshot workflow. I've found that these tips have really elevated my work and given me a consistent and polished and professional look that my clients just keep coming back for. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe for more tips, tutorials, and inspiration. See you next time.